Okay, we're gonna get into episode 7 of Survivor here. From what I remember from episode 6, I remember liking the episode because the merge actually spices things up. But I also remember being annoyed because I figured Emily should have been voted out. And now, based on the next time on portion of the show, it doesn't even look like Caleb or Emily going to be targeted. Hopefully they will be. I don't know. It was weird because I was rooting for both Emily and Caleb because they are underdogs. But I mean, the way everyone just decided to not vote them out after they tried to absolutely vote out Caleb, it makes me feel like maybe they aren't underdogs. You know what I mean? Hopefully this isn't one of those times where it's like, even though their game should be obvious, that they steamroll everyone in the game playing. You know what I mean? Hopefully that's not the case. Anyway, we'll see what happens. Episode 7 starts now. So the main four of the season continues. It was as I feared. After that tribal council, for some reason, Caleb or Emily are not the targets. It's either Bruce or Kelly at this point. Kelly being the other person who has the shared three-way amulet power with, what's his name? With Austin. With Jay being gone, that stuff is now that triple amulet is now a double amulet for like a vote steal. And that was so what I was afraid of, because I mean, if you're gonna commit to voting for Caleb like that and you recognized his threat, why is he now suddenly in a power position after that tribal council? He should be just as in much of a pit than he was back then, but for some reason targets shift. That's the weird thing about this group of Survivor players, you know? They play hard and they strategize, but it's like when it came to Caleb, it was like, well, we tried. Oh well, let's pick some other target to blindside. You know what I mean? They're not really looking in terms of who can they beat in the final tribal council, who is the biggest threat for the final tribal council. They're thinking in terms of, let's just make a big move. You know what I mean? Let's just do something impressive so that the jury can be like, oh, as opposed to killing the competition, which is probably one of the better ways to win the game, you know? Is that they're playing hard, but they're also not playing smart. You know what I mean? I don't know. It does feel weird to see this group play, because it's different. It's sort of refreshing, but at the same time, it's also kind of frustrating. Sort of feels like it is right now. But the main big fear is that the people who get the most screen time by far is Emily, Caleb, Austin, and Drew. And then maybe every now and then something with Bruce is correlated to it. But that's it. You know what I mean? People just talk about those four, or those four involved, or everyone hates Bruce. And it's like, if you're going to vote out Bruce, fine, then vote out Bruce. But someone of that group that hogs all the freaking screen time needs to be voted out. And it drives me nuts that Caleb is still in the game. When it's like, every time he's on the screen, it talks about how like he's a good social player and whatnot. Now he has all these connections. And then the last tribal council was about them pointing that out, and then how they almost voted him out. And now all of a sudden he's like not a threat anymore. Even Emily said, like, your situation changed completely. You went from all the bottom to having all this power. How? How did that happen? It shouldn't have happened. I'm waiting for those big four to eat each other. You know what I mean? That's what I'm waiting for, because I mean, apparently that's all that's worth showing in these longer episode formats. That, or how much everyone hates Bruce. No like other alliance talk or anything like that. There, way back when, there was like a September alliance is what I call them, with those 3 women. I don't even know if those I don't even know what happened to that alliance. I don't even remember who was in that alliance. That's how long ago it was. You know what I mean? I don't know. The strategy at this point is really just between what are those 4 going to do, or how is it revolving around Bruce? And it's stagnating because of that, which is a shame. The longer episodes, you would hope it avoids that. But now it seems like it's just kind of like continuing the problem, but now it's like an extra 15 minutes or so. Now I want to see what everyone else is thinking. And I got a little bit of that. I mean, now I know Kelly wants to keep Bruce around, sort of like the Caleb Emily route. But Kelly hasn't had much screen time as of late. You know what I mean? She had some screen time in like the first 3 episodes or so, but 4, 5, 6, No, I don't even remember her confessionals or anything like that. I think she had one scene during the challenge. You know what I mean? Like it's weird how we had longer episodes to like see more of these characters, and I still feel like some of them are getting a purple edit sometimes. You know what I mean? Anyway, that was the first commercial break I'm up to so far. Let's see what happens for the rest of the episode. Okay, so let's go into some specifics here. The immunity challenge happened, and basically the tribe was split in half, and each half is going to go to tribal council separately. So in the first half, we got Bruce, Kendra, Kelly, Drew, Sifu, and Emily. And the whole narrative was once again driven by one of the main four, Drew. This time it was Drew. Talking about how he's afraid, so he's either trying to wait for a blindside to happen, or he's just going to pin it all on Sifu, and Sifu will be voted out. And luckily for him, Kendra hates Bruce, just like everyone else on the tribe hates Bruce. So in a way, I'm kind of glad this is happening because, well, I don't always enjoy seeing Drew kind of socially dominate this game. It's also good that they're finally going to try and at least vote out Bruce at this point. You know what I mean? Because I feel like that's what's going to happen. Because now, at this point, at least I don't have to hear everyone saying how much they hate Bruce or how much they can't get along with him or anything like that. Maybe now they'll focus on other targets. You know what I mean? And if he catches wind, he's just going to play an idol, which it'll be a good idol play. And I enjoy seeing good idol plays. So I'm okay with that too. That's basically how that group is going. On the other group, we got Caleb, Jake, Austin, and I'm forgetting the other names. D, Mama J, and Katurah. And I gotta say something. Thank fucking God for Jake. Because finally someone else is drawing a vote narrative that isn't one of the main four. You know what I mean? In this case, Caleb latched on to Jake's idea. Jake is making a move to vote out D. So that's good. And I think I called her Kendra at one point. I meant D. So it's Caleb, D, Mama J, Austin, Jake, and Katurah. So that's good. I'm glad that Jake's moving and like making alliances and stuff like that. D is a smart player. She's engineered stuff before. She was part of the reason why Jay went home. So it's not a bad target. As for his idea to keep Caleb as a shield, yeah, maybe it could work. I don't know. I feel like Caleb's too big a shield, but I don't know. I've seen crazier stuff happen in this game show before. So I'm all on board. Jake's now becoming a favorite player of mine just because of that one thing. It's like I said, the strategy is sort of stagnating at this point, so it's good at least someone else's. I finally get to see someone else's freaking gameplay. You know what I mean? I only saw really spurts of it from everyone else. You know, I only saw spurts from D. D's the only person I can like immediately remember to like see gameplay moves, and that was when she was trying to blindside Sifu terribly, and then when she was trying to blindside Jay, and that one actually worked. So I'm glad I'm seeing gameplay now that doesn't revolve around Drew, Austin, Caleb, or Emily. You know, they're kind of like out of it at this point. Now it's like other people who are driving the voting narrative. So I'm happy about it. Let's hope it continues on with these tribal councils coming up. You know what I mean? Finally, you know? 7 episodes in, finally. As for that tribal council, I don't see Austin going to Rocks. Because that's the plan. It's a very... I mean, it's a plan. I don't know if it needs to be that complicated. But then again, maybe it does. The idea is that Jake wants him, Caleb, and Katurah to vote 3 for D, and the other 3, Austin, D, and Mama J, will probably just vote, you know, Caleb because he had votes. So obviously they're just going to vote for him again. It's easy, right? What Jake is hoping for is that there'll be a tie, and then the threat of Rocks will happen, and that way they can pull over Austin, who makes him a big target for possibly betraying D and also Mama J. You know what I mean? Which, I mean, it's a way to like really call somebody's game out and also still like get the way you want. This is assuming, of course, Austin does not want to go to Rocks. If he decides to bite the bullet and go to Rocks, which I could also see, considering that they gave a confessional for Mama J saying, I'm hopefully people not wanting to vote Caleb votes me out. You know what I'm saying? So maybe that's what they were setting up for, because it's been quite a while since a confessional from Mama J. So maybe that is what's going to happen, which is a bullshit way to go out. You know what I mean? But funnily enough, I'm looking forward to that group's tribal council as opposed to the one with Bruce in it. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm excited for that tribal council. The other one, not so much. I mean, odds are probably Bruce is going to go home. I don't know if he really has, like, considering how they've been doing nothing but point out how his social game is kind of trash. I don't know if he'll play the idol. Then again, it's not really about his social game. Maybe it's about like his like strategical thinking. You know what I mean? His strategy sense. Maybe he does play the idol. I think that's what it all hinges on. Anyway, that's where I'm at right now. Let's see if tribal council comes up. Okay, so I'm right before the first tribal council of this episode, the one with Bruce on it, and it seems like both Kendra. Well, no. It seems like both Kendra and Kelly finally woke up to how good of a goat Bruce would be at this point. And so they decided, let's just vote out Sifu, right? And they even tried to get Drew on it, and Drew's being desperate. So I mean, it was good to see them put that together. It was like gameplay other than Drew or Austin or any of those other four, you know? And then Drew comes in with his manipulative little fingers, sticks it in, and it's like, no. You don't want to vote out Sifu because Sifu will be useful to me, but you don't know that. You want to vote out Bruce because no one can stand Bruce. And Kendra kind of fell for it. You know what I mean? It's funny because, like, on the one hand, Drew's trying to save Austin, and I remember liking Sifu. Or no. It's funny because Drew is trying to save Sifu, and I remember liking Sifu. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, as of late, like, he hasn't really been getting much confessionals or attention. I remember when I first saw him, he was, like, hyper energetic and, like, fun to watch and stuff like that. It's similar to the Survivor 42 winner, right? But now he doesn't get much attention at all. He's just kind of sitting there, you know? But on the other hand, Kelly and Kendra using Bruce as a goat, at least his strategy other than something from the main four, you know what I mean? And so in this point, I'm kind of rooting for a Sifu blindside. You know what I mean? As much as I'm sick and tired of hearing people talk about how much they hate Bruce, I mean, at least there's strategy other than from Drew and Austin and Caleb and Emily. You know what I mean? I'm happy that everyone else on the freaking game show is actually being shown here. This is a good episode. I'm happy with this episode so far. What would make it perfect is the way I want tribal councils to go. And what I would like to see is, and it kills me to say it, I would like to see Sifu going home, which is unfortunate because I like, even to this point, I still like Sifu. I feel like he could at least be entertaining, but I'm so starving for freaking strategy at this point, you know, that I'd rather see Bruce stay. On the other hand, if Bruce does go home, I won't be heartbroken about it, you know what I mean? Because at least everyone stops talking about how much they hate Bruce in the next coming episodes. And the other thing I want is, in the second group for that tribal council, I would want that rock draw to happen and to see Austin's game exposed. That would be great, you know what I mean? So let's see if those tribal council dreams come true or not. Let's get to it. Okay, so episode's over. For the first elimination, it was Sifu, and I'm happy about that. Again, I'm also sad because, I mean, what a perfectly timed freaking confessional to have for him. It was always been my dream to make it to the jury, and he gets cut at before the jury. Fuck y'all know what you did. And then I'm glad to see Kelly and Kendra play hardball, you know what I mean? Even if it is like holding on to Bruce. It wouldn't be the first time someone held on to a goat they didn't like. So, I mean, I'm glad you're stepping up your game. Well, I shouldn't say stepping up, it's just I haven't seen your game because it's always been dominated by other screen time. Speaking of which, Caleb got voted out. On the one hand, I wanted to see like a rock draw and like Austin's game get shattered because him sitting in a power position has been quite annoying for some time, and it didn't happen. But on the other hand, one of the main four got voted out, so more screen time for everyone else. You know what I mean? I appreciate the attempt by Jake. He at least tried to do something the crazy, you know what I mean? And this was a good kind of crazy because it would have put him in like a decent power position. So it's not just a move for the sake of making a flashy move. It would have been like a move, you know what I mean? But also good on Katura, you know what I mean? I'm not mad that she didn't go with that plan because I mean, it would have been cool if she did it, but at the same time, she also voted out Caleb. So kind of happy about that too. This was a good episode. I enjoyed this episode. I got to see the gameplay of everyone else as opposed to Drew or Austin or Caleb or Emily. You know what I mean? Because they've been kind of basically doing it for the past 3 episodes. Almost more than that, now I think about it. So, good. I'm happy things turned out like this. I enjoyed this episode. This was fun to watch. Caleb got voted out. He was so hurt. The auction coming back, that was just confirmed with this last next time on portion of the show. What I want to see happen with this auction, if you want to give an advantage, okay, cool, but do not show anyone anything that they are bidding for. That's the one way you solve it. Just don't show what the hell they're bidding for. Keep every item covered. That's what I want to see. Don't like give this whole you're bidding for an advantage in the game. You're bidding for pizza. Just keep it covered. That's what made it fun to me. As for other strategies, I'm good. I'm happy that other people are voting for other people, or what am I trying to say? I'm happy that I'm getting to see other people's gameplay. Hopefully that continues on through episode 8. The auction, I don't know. It may have mixed results or something like that. We'll see what happens. The other thing is the potential. It looked like an all-girls alliance sort of deal. Yeah, sure. It's another driving narrative that doesn't really include Austin, Drew, or Emily. I mean, it kind of does include Emily, but it mostly includes all the other women, so it's like fine. as long as it's fun to watch, you know what I mean? So we'll see if that comes to fruition or whatnot. I'm rooting for Jake. He tried to do something crazy, and it would have been cool if it got pulled off. As far as I'm concerned, he's more interesting to watch than Bruce, Drew, or Austin, or even Emily at this point. That's saying something, But yeah, at this point, I'm rooting for Jake because he is absolutely an underdog at this point. We'll see what happens. Sucks that Sifu went home. But I get to see Kendra and Kelly actually play the game now, so I suppose it's a sacrifice worth it. Hopefully it stays that way. Swear to God, if Drew or Austin or Emily end up in the final 3, if all 3 of them end up in the final 3, this season sucked. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, that was episode 7. I'll see you guys for episode 8 later.